Hey guys, boo! Sorry if I scared you, but happy Halloween! I thought it would be fitting to read a creepypasta for you guys because what's better than a scary story about video games? Apparently, this anonymous author who posted this story on Reddit says it's real. But I mean, come on, a cursed video game? Anyway, I decided to read this because the author deleted his post a few hours after it was uploaded. So I will use this video as an archive of sorts. If the author would like me to take down the video, please contact me. Without further ado, this is Trip's Corruption. Hello, my name is Austin. I need help and I don't know what to do. My high school friend Trevor suddenly went missing without a trace, and I have no clue where he went. I told his parents and the police all I knew, but I had a feeling something was wrong. Then just yesterday, I got an email that was sent from Trevor's email address, titled If I Go Missing. It looked like it was sent by an automated system that he must have set up before his disappearance. I opened the email and it was blank, but there were two files attached. One was a Google Doc with a note from Trevor, and the other was what seemed to be an exe file for Sonic Superstars. I remember hearing Trevor talk on and on about how excited he was for the game, and even found a way to play it early. Could this be what he was talking about? I thought. I clicked on the note, hoping there was a clue to Trevor's whereabouts, but what I found only filled my mind with more questions. The note read, "Austin, if you get this email, then I'm in big trouble." I was able to find a leaked copy of Sonic Superstars from an anonymous. Okay, here we go. Austin, if you get this email, then I'm in big trouble. I was able to find a leaked copy of Sonic Superstars from an anonymous forum user online, and when I started the game, things seemed off. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm gonna play some more to find out if it's infecting my computer with a virus. Do not, under any circumstances, play this game on your computer. Please just send this email to the police, and hopefully they can track down where the file came from. Trevor. A virus? How could a virus make Trevor disappear? I didn't know what to do. Would the cops even believe me if I showed them this email? Or would they assume it's a prank? I couldn't risk it. My friend was missing, and if the game had a clue to what happened to him, I was gonna find out. I clicked on the exe file and pressed download. For some strange reason, as soon as I pressed the button with my mouse, the power flickered off, then back on. Thankfully, it was quick enough so it didn't turn off my computer, but it was still strange. I looked outside and the night sky was clear, so it couldn't have been a storm. I forgot about it once the game finished downloading. This was it. Just to be safe, I ran a virtual machine on my computer, so if the game did infect my computer, it'd be contained. I accessed my download folder and saw the icon for Sonic Superstars EXE. It looked normal enough. He had Sonic holding a green emerald in his hand, but the expression on his face was unusual. It was almost like a distressed face, like something was scaring Sonic. Weird design choice by Sega, but this was a leaked copy, so maybe this was the beta design. Either way, I took a deep breath, slowly exhaled, and clicked on the file to run the program. When the game booted up, the usual Sonic Team logo was displayed, followed by a code full of random letters and numbers, probably for the developers to know what build of the game it was. Then the title screen appeared. Everything looked like it should in my opinion, even though the game wasn't out yet. It looked like a Sonic game, alright. You had your classic characters, Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Knuckles. But as I stayed on the title screen waiting to see if anything would happen, I saw in the far corner of the screen a silhouette of something. I wasn't able to make it out because the game brought me to the menu screen. I must have pressed start by mistake. The only option on the screen was start game. How early was this build? Anyway, I did the only thing I could do and pressed start game. The first thing I saw was a cutscene of Eggman and Fang the Hunter, aka Fang the Sniper or Knack the Weasel. Fang and Eggman were in what appeared to be Eggman's robotic factory, but they were both panicking. Eggman was grabbing boxes and other objects around his lab and putting them in front of a door like a barricade. I hadn't played a Sonic game in a while, but I couldn't imagine Eggman being this scared of Sonic. What could be going on? Once the door was barricaded, Eggman and Fang hid behind a corner when a loud bang came from behind the other side of the door. I could see the sweat dripping off of Eggman's face as a second loud bang came from the door. Whoever animated this did a great job, even if the cutscene was creeping me out. One more bang and the busted door fell completely off the hinges, and on the other side was nothing but black. Eggman and Fang turned towards the door and got on their hands and knees, praying to be spared. I moved my eyes closer to the screen, hoping to see what broke the door down. Then a bright red light, which nearly blinded me, came from the doorway of Eggman's lab. The effect was so powerful, it was making my GPU overheat. As my computer fan grew louder, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. "Eggman, get out of there!" I yelled, but to no avail. Then out of nowhere, flames bellowed out of the doorway and engulfed Eggman and Fang, who began screaming in agony. I couldn't believe something this horrific was in a Sonic game. I knew at this point that this was no normal copy of Sonic Superstars. I began to feel very sick. Thankfully, the screen faded to black, so I didn't have to witness the burning corpses of Eggman or Fang for very long. My fan was going crazy at this point, and just before the screen went completely black, a huge beast approached the bodies and began eating them. I could hear the sounds of bones crunching between the monster's teeth. Then, silence. Did the game crash? I was horrified at what I just witnessed. How could the developers make such a cutscene, and for a game rated E no less? My fan stopped, and I thought my computer shut down from getting too hot. It was like that for about 6 seconds, and just as I was going to hit the power button on my PC, the title for the first zone appeared. Burning Bridges Zone Act 1. The stage loaded and Sonic was on screen, surrounded by burning trees and a blood-red ocean. He looked at me, scared like something was going to get him if he didn't start running. At first, I thought my monitor was broken because the image was full of static, like I was playing it on a CRT TV. Very strange. And the more I looked, the more I felt my stomach getting into a knot. I knew something was wrong with this game, but if I wanted to find out what happened to my friend, I had to keep pushing on. I pushed the left analog stick to the right. I was using an Xbox controller, and Sonic began to run. There was no enemies or rings for some reason. Probably because Eggman was eaten, so he didn't have the chance to deploy his badniks to attack Sonic and friends. But that doesn't explain why there wasn't a single ring in sight. I continued to move Sonic forward, going through loops and jumping on springs until a loud roar came from the right, off-screen, and nearly busted my headphones being so loud. I dropped the controller and ripped my headphones off, noticing that my ears began to bleed. What the hell is going on? Who made this? I left my room to go to the bathroom and wash up. I wet some paper towels and cleaned the blood from my ears. I looked up and saw myself in the mirror. Sweat was dripping from my forehead and my heart was racing. This must have happened to Trevor when he first played the game. I hope he's okay. When I finished in the bathroom, I returned to my room to see something that will be ingrained in my memory forever. Sitting back in my chair, I saw a large yellow beast on screen with its head bent down towards the ground and was eating something. And with what happened in the previous cutscene, I knew it couldn't be good. I rushed to my computer and grabbed my controller, pressing random buttons, but it was too late. The beast finished its meal and turned its head towards the screen. It looked through my soul, with bright red eyes and a toothy grin. A shiver ran through my spine, and the monitor flashed to black for 5 milliseconds, then back to the game. The beast was gone, allowing me to get a closer look at what the monster was eating. It was Sonic, and there was nothing left of him other than a puddle of blood and his signature red shoes. If I wouldn't have left the game, maybe he would still be alive. I began to feel bad for the fictional character. Even if none of this was real, it felt real to me for some reason that I couldn't describe in words. The screen faded to black, and glowing red text appeared.
Enjoying the game so far? I'm just getting started.
How could the game ask me such a question? Of course I wasn't enjoying the game. I'll be having nightmares for months. Once the text disappeared, the screen revealed the next zone. Bleed Jungle Zone, Act Tails and Amy. I heard of these character-specific acts from the trailers for the game, but I thought the act was for one character, not two. Anyway, the level loaded in, and Tails and Amy were huddled together in a jungle. But this jungle was full of thorny vines and barely any light due to the thick blankets of leaves up above. This time, I was not going to leave these two alone. As Tails wiped a tear from his eye, he looked at me and nodded. I wonder if the characters can see me. No, of course not. That would be ridiculous. I moved the analog stick to the right like I did with Sonic before, and Tails began to move, followed by Amy. Again, no badniks and no rings. This particular level had vines that the characters were supposed to slide along, but with the inclusion of thorns, I had Tails fly over them carrying Amy. As Tails flew towards a clear area so he could land, the same monster before darted past them like a fighter jet, hitting Tails in the process. This event caused Tails to drop Amy. No! I cried out in my room. I tried my hardest to fly Tails towards Amy, but he wasn't fast enough. Amy fell with tears in her eyes, screaming for help when suddenly it was quiet. She landed directly on one of the large thorns and died. I began to cry for the death of Amy, as I knew it was partially my fault for not saving her in time. I flew Tails to the clearing and took my thumb off the analog stick. Tails crumbled to the ground and entered a fetal position, crying his poor little eyes out. I just froze, not knowing what to do next. Was all this trauma really worth it? To maybe find a clue to Trevor's whereabouts? What if he wasn't actually missing and this was all a painfully elaborate prank? I pondered the thought, then shook my head. No, Trevor would never expose me to this horror. He needs my help. I focused my efforts back to the game, and just as I was about to move Tails once again, the creature appeared. It was another deafening screech, thankfully I wasn't wearing my headphones this time, and swooped down towards Tails. My reflexes weren't quick enough, and just like that, the creature flew back up in the air with Tails' body in between its sharp teeth. The screen faded to black, and text appeared for a second time.
These snacks have been good, but now I'm ready for the main course.
What could that mean? I didn't have much time to think because the next zone title appeared. Cry Temple Zone Act 1. The level looked to be in the sky with rain clouds all around and heavy wind. This time, Knuckles appeared on screen with Trevor? Seriously? How is this possible? Did some creep design a character using Trevor's likeness and put him in this corrupted version of Sonic Superstars? Or was this actually him? A part of me felt like I was going crazy, but I tried to remain calm. I decided to put my headset back on and turn on the microphone that was attached. Then I spoke hesitantly. Trevor? Is that really you? Knuckles and the Trevor lookalike looked around just to see where the voice was coming from. Then he spoke.
Austin, is that you? Yes, it's really me. You gotta help me. I don't know how it was possible, but Trip dragged me in here and has been tormenting me, Sonic and his friends. This world in the game may not be real, but I can still feel pain. You have to find a way to get me out before she grabs you too.
I looked at my screen in disbelief. My friend got sucked in a video game, and not only that, but one of the characters was actively terrorizing him. I wasn't familiar with any Sonic character named Trip, but she must be that beast that has been killing and eating all the characters. I could not let that happen to Trevor. Don't worry, Trevor. I'll do whatever I can to get you out of there, I said. Then an eerie voice echoed through the sky.
I'd like to see you try and rescue your friend, Austin. Ha 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 ha. You better do it quick. I'm getting hungry.
Trip's booming voice caused thunder and lightning to roar in the game. I knew I had only one shot to get my friend out of the game, and that was to defeat the monster with Knuckles. Let's do this, Knuckles, I proclaimed through my headset. Knuckles looked towards the screen and gave his signature grin while pounding his fists together. I moved the analog stick and Knuckles started to move to the right. Trevor followed behind. He wasn't as fast because he kept skipping gym class. After little action because of the missing badniks and obstacles, it was just a straight line to the end. We reached a large temple and inside, she was there. The beast that has been causing all this trouble. I wiped the sweat from my brow and nervously gulped. Trip's dragon form was very intimidating. Her body took up a third of the screen, and she was surrounded by red static. Her stare was even more terrifying with the red glowing eyes with blood dripping from them. She just stood there, breathing heavily. "Why are you doing this?" I asked. Immediately she started laughing hysterically, and then she spoke in a low tone.
Ha 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 ha. Your friend should know exactly why I'm doing this. He just couldn't wait for the game to come out. He had to play it early by any means, even if it meant pirating the game.
That's it, I thought. This was all one big anti-piracy campaign? And then I spoke. If you're doing all this because Trevor illegally downloaded a copy of the game, why attack the other characters? They're in the same situation as you, I retorted. Trip belittled me with her devilish grin.
You see, that's just it. They are in the same situation, yet they wanted no part in teaching this punk a lesson.
She pointed a claw at Trevor, who is now as pale as a ghost.
If they aren't with me, then they're against me, and I know how much Sonic and friends mean to Trevor, so part of his punishment was being forced to watch them die over and over and over in as gruesome ways as possible, not being able to do a thing about it. And once you downloaded the file, I realized it was the perfect time to finish him off while his best friend watches.
My fear turned to anger as Trip continued to laugh at her evil plan. Trevor's getting out of here, and I won't allow you to torture these characters anymore. It was time to hone all my gaming skills to take this psychopath out. I made Knuckles run forward, rushing the beast. Trip rose in the air and charged her fire breath. I was able to maneuver Knuckles past her claw-slashing attacks and hit her. Her face, surprised I was able to get a hit in, turned to a rageful scowl as her fire breath was almost fully charged. If I hadn't thought of something soon, Trevor was done for. I moved Knuckles left and right in a panic, because I had no way to attack because she was too high in the air. Then something amazing happened. Sonic, Tails, Amy, and even Fang and Eggman appeared, each holding Chaos Emeralds. They activated each Emerald's abilities and charged at Trip. Sonic used Bullet to launch himself in the air, knocking Trip to the ground. Tails used Slow to stop her from getting away, and Eggman used Avatar to send copies of himself, appearing from both sides of the screen. While Amy spun her hammer, Fang shot lasers from his ship, and Knuckles punched Trip in the gut with his fists. Trevor and I cheered the team on, as all we needed to do was sit and watch. Trip had enough of the beating, however, and once the Chaos Emerald abilities were used up, her flame breath was fully charged and she was ready to end this. Trip rose up on her hind legs, inhaling deeply. Trip released her flame breath, covering the whole screen in fire. I closed my eyes, not allowing myself to witness the burnt corpse of my best friend. But after 3 seconds, I slowly opened my eyes to see Super Sonic. Sonic was able to use all the emeralds to shield himself and everyone else from the barrage of flames. Super Sonic, like a speeding bullet, shot towards Trip at supersonic speed. As this happened, I saw the red static leave Trip's body and her eyes return to normal too. She was no longer in her dragon form, but her normal lizard form.
What happened?
Trip let out in a quiet voice. She was bruised up pretty bad from the attack, but she appeared normal. Trevor, who was huddled behind a rock the whole time, rushed to Trip's aid as she attempted to walk. He was just able to catch her before she collapsed.
Are you okay?
Trevor asked, with genuine concern in his eyes.
Yeah, I haven't felt like myself for a while, but now I'm back.
Trip turns her head to look at Sonic and friends.
Thank you guys for snapping me out of it.
Sonic gave a thumbs up and winked with his signature smirk as Tails and Amy dashed over to give her a big hug. Eggman scoffed as not being one to enjoy sentimental moments and left along with Fang. With more energy back, Trip stood up and looked at Trevor.
Now to send you back.
She opened up a portal.
But seriously, no more pirating games.
Trevor, with tears in his eyes, nodded to Fang and jumped through the portal. My PC began shaking violently with my monitor flashing an array of colors. Trevor's body shot out of the screen and knocked me over, causing us to fall to the ground with a loud slam sound. Once we collected ourselves, we just looked at each other and laughed with tears in our eyes as we hugged on the ground, still processing what just happened. Then, my bedroom door slammed open to reveal my mom with a bewildered look on her face.
Trevor,
Oh my god, where have you been? The whole town has been looking for you. Your parents have been worried to death since you went missing.
Trevor and I get up from the ground and look at her.
It's a long story.
Trevor uttered with a relieved tone, not realizing the amount of trouble he would soon be in with his parents. We both laugh as we walk out of my bedroom with my mom. Before we made it down the stairs, I rushed back to the bedroom, realizing I should delete the game file just to be safe. But when I looked for the file, it was like it was never there. I searched every folder and even the recycle, but there was no trace. I shrugged and decided just to turn off my computer, and as it was shutting down, I swear I saw red text. The same text from the game that said,
"This isn't over, Austin."
Then the screen went to black. I must have been seeing things. The game was gone and Trevor was back, so the only thing left to worry about was how to explain all this to our parents. The end. So yeah, that was the Trips, Corruption Creepypasta. I want to thank everybody who watched till the end of the video. And spoiler alert, I actually made the story. It wasn't an anonymous user on Reddit. I lied. So Halloween prank, haha. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making it and narrating it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, I just want to let you guys know that there is a review of Sonic Superstars on the way. Just my brief opinions on the game. I thought it was a really good Sonic game. I actually haven't finished the bonus story. Obviously no spoilers, but yeah, I was kind of inspired to do this story because of sonic.exe, which is the infamous Sonic Creepypasta story. And so I wanted to make my own Sonic Creepypasta story with my own kind of twist on it. And I couldn't think of a better video to do for Halloween. So yeah, thank you for everyone who's been supporting me in this channel. And I know the video uploads aren't consistent, but I am trying to upload more frequently, so I hope that you guys continue to enjoy my videos, and I enjoy making them, so I'm glad that someone's getting some entertainment out of this. It makes it worth it. So happy Halloween. Hope you guys get a lot of candy. You know, I don't need any candy, so I'm not gonna go trick-or-treating this year. So yeah, that's a joke. That's like a Halloween joke, by the way. Yeah, this video is too long, so I'm gonna go. All right, I'll see you guys later. Blah blah blah. That's Dracula saying goodbye. So see ya.